So that's that's
playing
good.
Frozen Monopoly.
Yeah, they're still playing it. I was playing at the beginning as well, and then I left my kid with a vast wealth
Empire.
of not the biggest, but a big enough lead that she had Park Place and Boardwalk already. They're not called that in the game. They're called like some scene from the movie. I will just double back real quick, and we can stop talking about capitalism and monopoly because.
Yeah.
But the most different and memorable thing about Frozen is that there is a space on the board that you land on. It's called the snowflake. You get the snowflake on one of your properties, and you have to tell your favorite memory of one of your favorite memories of your family.
Aww.
But then if someone lands on the spot that you put that on one of your properties, they got to pay triple rent. Just to get a little bit of capitalism in there.
Bam.
Hey, let's put this like loving, like, oh, that's very sweet, and let's drench it in capitalism.
Let's ruin it so that your little sister remembers this forever as the time you broke and humiliated her in front of everyone else after telling the story about how much you loved that camping trip.
Yep, exactly.
So
I'm going to be honest with you. It actually feels more fucked up now that I think about it.
Yeah, no.
That's like psychological damage.
Monopoly is a fucked up game. There's no getting around it. And it's bizarre that it is the most popular board game in the world.
I don't even play it that often.
Or at least in the country.
But when I play it like once a year, and I remember why I don't play it very often. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those games you play and you're like, oh, geez, why did I fucking play that? Now I fucking hate my friends. They hate me. Like,
Yep. I don't understand it. It's
just play Sorry, man.
Which is also competitive, but like way more cute.
And the stakes are so much lower.
So low.
There's no real world allegory.
Exactly. There's no one-to-one with life.
Yeah, like you don't go like, well, shit, man, I got a 7 today. I guess I lost one of my guys.
Put a gun in your mouth.
Right. And then the other one's like, it's cool, we're still here. You know?
We just got to get 5
the game is over. You just like shake it up and like you put the pieces back in. So like all of like the dead U's pop back up and you're like, no, it's all good. We're ready to play again.
Oh,
that's
it's like
not
Valhalla.
That sounds like a fucking. It's a fucking.
You're literally describing Valhalla, where you battle all day, and then after you're dead, at the end of the day, you get up and you go into a mead hall and you drink, and then you wake up the next morning and do it again.
Is this what I've been dreaming about when I was in a pool of lightning?
Yes. Yes, Darrel. You were of Asgard. I've been reading a lot of Thor. Well, I've been reading a lot of Marvel comics from the 60s, actually, in the last couple of weeks. And like,
Jack Kirby?
Back when Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were like writing and drawing between them. Like Stan Lee was writing like 8 comic books a month. And each one was like pretty much a full story. I mean, there was a lot of to be continued, but like there was a fight, an event, something every single month. And they're really repetitive. Like,
this guy comes and does this, and this guy comes and does this, and then they fight.
Well, like in the Hulk, the thing that seems to happen over and over again is that General Thunderbolt Ross wants to get the Hulk, right?
Sure.
And Rick Jones is telling him, you don't want to get the Hulk. He's not a bad guy. And then Thunderbolt Ross is like, no, he is a bad guy. And then the Hulk does a good thing, and Thunderbolt Ross is like, maybe I was wrong. And that's where the story ends. And then you pick up again next month, and he's like, we got to get the fucking Hulk.
So they're like, like that.
We don't have a story anymore if Thunderbolt Ross comes around.
If he shows some humanity and humility, like.
Right. And Odin is continually banishing Thor for refusing to give up Jane Foster. He's like, God damn it, I told you to stop dating that Earth girl. And he's like, nah, man, I do what I want. I'm a god of thunder. And he's like, all right, fine. You're going back to Earth with half power.
You broke ass.
Yeah, so, yes, broke ass god. You get to keep your hammer, though.
Fine,
it's not like the movie. Yeah. It's because I've been playing that new Avengers game, and there's this website. If you are partially OCD and a comic book fan called the Complete Marvel Reading Order. And literally it's this guy who's been putting every single Marvel comic ever published into the correct reading order. And when I started it, it was in like 2012, and he was up in the 80s from the 60s. And now he's got listings for books that aren't coming out till next year now. Like, wow. Other people have joined in, and
like crowdsourced it.
Yeah, exactly. And he's up to, like, I have read everything from 1961 through 66. So I'm like 3% of the way done.
Wow.
I don't know if I'll ever catch up, but every now and then I go back to it and I'm like, you know what? I am going to force myself to read these Submariner stories.
Okay, we're going to pop about 10 of those out today because they're all kind of the same.
About 10 pages each. He gets mad, misunderstanding, you know. The thing is, like, Fantastic Four and Spider-Man are good right from the get-go. Everything else is bad. Yeah. Like, Iron Man's like going to the center of the earth and meeting princesses and shit. And it's like, This is not what Iron Man does.
Can I ask you how many drugs you think those guys were on?
I don't know. I imagine they were at least taking uppers like the dudes in Mad Men.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
Like, Jack Kirby should not have been able to do as much work as he did. I think Stan Lee could pull it off because he didn't write full scripts. He would write like a summary and then give it to the artist, and the artist would go off and draw it, and then he would come back and write the captions and the dialogue, which is why there's so much like expository dialogue in those old Marvel comics where he's like, all right, I have to hit this thing to use as a jumping platform to get in the water, you know, or whatever.
Because they didn't know, like, what, like...
I have no idea. How did he get in the water from this big hole? You can literally see Stan Lee trying to figure out what the fuck Gail Kane was doing.
I kind of want to read a couple of those. I think that would be like...
Oh, you know, okay, here's a just a bonus Captain America trivia for you. So they bring Cap, you know, Cap is originally in the Golden Age, right? Mm-hmm. And they decided to bring him back in the 60s. Avengers #4, I think, is where where they find him and thaw him out. And they start giving him his own, like, you know, he doesn't even have his own comic yet. He's splitting a comic with Iron Man. So they're you know, for years, which kind of makes sense. But in one of the early issues, Cap, you know, he's been gone for 20 years. He has no friends. No one he knows is still around anymore. Bucky is dead. And to cheer him up, Rick Jones dresses up as Bucky.
Okay.
Like, pops in on Cap while he's alone because he thinks it'll make him happy to see his dead child sidekick.
Hey, bud.
Like, that's some fucked up shit. Like, now, to be fair, a kid might actually think that, but, like, that is, I don't know, you'd have to be on drugs. I know for sure that the guys in the 70s Marvel stable, I've read the histories, like, those guys would take LSD and mushrooms and just walk around, like Steve Englehart, Steve Gerber, those guys would just walk around New York City tripping balls and plotting out, like, Doctor Strange and Man-Thing for, like, the next year, or Jim Starlin, you know, like, that's how you get shit like Thanos and, you know, a lot of that really cool cosmic shit.
That's fucking nuts, like, to think that within 10 years, the zeitgeist had changed so much that, like, I do believe, I don't think that, like, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were fucking, like, doing mushrooms or fucking doing coke or anything like that, but maybe some speed or, like, definitely smoking, like, you know, like those sort of things, like things that would, like, make them continue to writing, because there's like you said, that's a lot of work to do all the time. So, like, but then by the 70s, like, these dudes were like, okay, hold on. But then there's a guy from the fucking moon of Titan.
And he wants to wipe. He's in love with death.
And the guys were like, oh shit. Yeah, exactly.
I'm really excited to get to 70s Marvel because that is where shit gets bonkers.
It's weird.
And I like that. When I was a kid, I was like, what the fuck is this? Where's the
I did the
X-Men?
same thing, and now I look at it and I'm like, I kind of want to read that because like it looks fun.
Yeah. So that's kind of, yeah, I've been kind of immersing myself. I even watched some of Iron Man 2 on my lunch break today. So
Yeah.
I'm in Marvel country right now.
I'm still hanging out in Star Wars country because my kid's really been like, she's been jamming on Star Wars lately, and I've been watching the Clone Wars. So I imagine I'll be really jazzed up for like Mandalorian season 2 by the time it comes around, and then maybe
Just
after
next
that, it is. I know. So maybe after that, I can like ease out into like some other like
some
like
other
fandom
genre.
for a little bit. Yeah. 'Cause I've been on a bender for a while. It's been like pretty much all summer.
I went on a Star Wars bender in the months leading up to Rise of Skywalker.
Maybe
So
that's
like
why I
I
didn't
was
like it so much.
because I was so immersed and I was so excited for it.
See, I wasn't at all. Like I had such low expectations because I thought it was going to be a shit show that when I went in and I was like, all right, man, like it was fucking stupid, but like I'm here for it. Like
I've sat through bad Star Wars movies.
like I didn't when I left the theater. Because I had such low expectations. When I left the theater, I was like, all right, man.
All right, impromptu ranking of the Star Wars movies, not grading, but rating. All right, what is your just mainline saga? Yeah. Let me get one too.
This is a writing down activity. Why can't I find any pens? I got a new desk and I can't find any pens.
I'll send you a pen. Hang on.
You're gonna send it
Just
to me
right
and I'll
through the screen.
3D print it. It's gonna take 6 hours.
This is gonna be awesome. Well, last night we were talking to our friend Sergio, and we were grading. You and he were grading them, but we didn't rank them. Do you want to add Solo and
I would add all of them. Maybe not Mandalorian, just movies.
Okay, movies only, no TV shows.
Yes, and I don't know that I would include the Clone. Well, I don't know. We can include the Clone Wars movies the Clone Wars.
No,
movie.
let's leave that out because it really
live
is
action only.
Live action movies only. All right.
Number one is obviously number one, not number 10. Number 10 is not the best.
Correct.
It's so dumb.
You can start at number 10. You can start with the worst. We'll go.
I don't even know if there are. How many are there? I don't even know how many there are.
There are 11. There's the 9 mainstream movies, then there's Rogue One and Solo.
All right. Let us discuss what the ranking orders are for at the moment. We were just discussing that like
we could re-rank them every week.
Or maybe not every week. But
maybe once a year.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Maybe in May most of the time. We'll just do it because it's 2020 and fuck it. 2020 is wild.
Maybe. Well, okay. Maybe. Well, we could do other Star Wars themed lists. I was gonna say like maybe we could try ranking the TV shows, but then like some episodes are so much better than others. Like kind of. So maybe you do like your top 5 episodes of Clone Wars or top 5
Sure. Oh man, that's a tough one. Clone Wars is so good. I would rank the Clone Wars series higher than some of the Star Wars movies.
Yeah. I think most Star Wars fans would at this point.
I tell everyone I love the Clone Wars, and like some fans are like, "Cool, man," and some fans are like, "What?"
Huh?
Yeah, and I'm like, "You guys are fucking nuts, man." That expands on the mythology so much.
Well, I wonder if it's because, like, for better or worse, the Star Wars prequels were actually our generation Star Wars movies.
Yeah, that's fair.
So like, for, better or worse, like, that was kind of where the saga was. So, like, it kind of is filling out and healing the broken trilogy that we got. So
I think you'll see that in my list as well. Like as we go down it, like that I have been those movies have been rehabilitated for me in a lot of ways because of the Clone Wars. All right, number 11.
Okay, you want to go first, and then
I think we can agree on this one. It's Attack of the Clones.
Yes, Attack of the Clones is hands down the worst Star Wars movie, which is crazy because I remember championing it in the summer of 2002 as like the Yoda fight, like the Jedi. I think we were just like blinded by how many lightsabers.
That was it.
That's all that movie has going for it.
They just pulled out the lightsabers and we were like, okay, we're here. You got us.
Like the sets look weird. Like there's that Zam Weissel set where, you know, it looks like a sound stage that like, it looks like they're just standing in front of a green screen when he's handing her the tube with the killer centipedes in it and stuff. Like, and